when did you first find out you had osteoporosis?
Well, it was back in the 90s. I'd been swimming and had a super time, then came back to Sainsbury's Superstore. Well, I shouldn't say that. Then fell over, broke my kneecap, and was taken to hospital, admitted there. And I had it wired together and then in plaster for 6 weeks. And after that, the doctor thought that probably I'd have to have a bone density scan, as it was called in those days. So off I went. And yes, I had got osteoporosis. That was the first time I ever knew about it.
What did they tell you about the disease?
Well, they just said I had to keep very active. And I said I was active. I used to be a Keep Fit instructor. And they said, a good diet. And, they asked me what I had. And although I'm a vegetarian, I do eat fish. I'm a pescatarian. And that seemed to be no problem either. So I was a bit of a conundrum. But anyway, they said, well, keep on and having a bit more. So I had calcium tablets, one a day, for starting. And then they said, well, perhaps you ought to go on a one-a-week tablet as well, which was a tablet I took first thing in the morning, and I had to stay upright and couldn't eat anything for half an hour, only with 1 glass of water, nothing else. So I did that, and well, I've been doing that ever since, really.
So this was the first time that you'd found out even about the disease, was it?
Yeah. I had, well, my mother was very bent over, and I thought, I wonder if she's got osteoporosis. But I asked her, and she said, no, I haven't got osteoporosis. And as in the 90s, they didn't know a lot about it, but it was coming into sort of the news, and I thought, well, after this bone density scan, I was really glad that I'd had it checked out. So that's all I knew about it at the time.
So how long has it been since you broke your knee?
Well, it was the year I was 60, and I'm now 75, so 15 years I've had it.
How much would you say treatment has improved for it over the years, if at all?
Well, I think it has improved a bit because in 2010 they put me on to an injection every day. I think it's called teriparatide. I'm not too technical on these things, but I just did as I was told and did the injection every day for 18 months. And 18 months is the maximum time you're allowed to do this, which was a bit of a bind. But after I had another bone density scan, it had certainly improved slightly. They said it will either stabilise it or it might improve, and I feel it was a tiny improvement, so I was very glad. But after I'd taken that 18 months of medication, I then went back onto the one a week as I had before as well. So,
injections for 18 months, was that every day or every week? Sorry?
Every day.
Injections for every day for 18 months. How uncomfortable was that?
Yeah, I had to do it into my thigh. The nurse who came to give me advice on it, she said, do it into one thigh one day, the next thigh the next day, and then the side of your stomach the next day, and the next side. So I was going in a rotation round my middle. Yeah, wasn't very nice. I had funny side effects for about half an hour afterwards.
What sort of side effects?
Well, I felt very distant and slightly woozy. So I used to do it just before I go into bed, about 10 o'clock at night, and my husband used to just go out of the room and come back and talk to me later because he couldn't do anything, and I just said, I can't really converse with you, I'll just hang this out, and this is what I did.
Was it difficult for your husband while you were going through
Well, he didn't like it very much. That's why he said it was better for him to be in the kitchen rather than watching me sort of huffing and puffing, but no, I got through it.
Over the 18 months, you say that was well worth doing?
Well, I think so, because it had slightly improved. And I mean, I had a bone density scan again last February of this year, and it hasn't deteriorated, so I think I'm on a plateau. So as long as I keep exercising, exercise, and lots of calcium foods, it seems to be much more help. Yeah.
Have you had to give anything up after sort of over the years of having it? Has it affected you that much?
Well, obviously I can't do as much as I'd like to do. I haven't got the strength, and I'm always frightened I'm going to fall. It's another thing. So I can't sort of go and play tennis now. I'm frightened I'm going to fall. But I walk. I don't jog very much at all. But I'm bending over. If I'm bending over a long time, my back aches a lot. Even if I'm standing preparing food at the table for more than half an hour, it starts to hurt in my neck as well. And I've tried sitting down. You have little tactics you try and do to improve.
Learn ways around it.
Yeah.
So you're the treasurer of the support
I
group.
am
How
of
did
this
that happen?
Winchester one. Well, because this the nurses had been going for 10 years, they said, really, it's time for us to give up. We would like someone else to take over. So we looked around the room, and there were about 20 people there, and they were all saying, oh, no, I don't want to do it. We said, well, somebody's got to do it. So I volunteered then, and they said, that's fine. Now we need a chairman. We've got to have a chairman, otherwise we can't have the group. And it was a bit death silence, nobody wanted to take over that. And later on in the meeting, my husband said, well, I don't mind doing it. I'm not really a member of the society, but I don't mind doing chairmanship until they find somebody. So I then said, well, go and tell them. So at the end of the meeting, before we left, he went and said that he would do it. And that's how it formed. And then, of course, 2 or 3 other people didn't mind joining the committee. So we have about, I think, 8 or 9 people on the committee, which is a nice size.
You were saying earlier, you sort of given so that you don't play tennis because you're afraid of breaking things like that. So does the day sort of affect what you might or might not do? For example, it's raining today, and if it's very sunny, do you sort of think might not risk it sometimes? Well,
if it's raining, I do go out, but I would be more inclined to go out when it's fine. I do put my walking boots on and get out in the rain and walk. But when it's fine weather, obviously it's much more encouraging. I can just slip out there and have a coffee and get 20 minutes of sun on my forearms, or do a little bit of weeding, although again I can't do too much weeding bending over. I do quite a lot of pruning at this level, and I can get that done. So yeah, those sorts of things.
So does winter especially, because we've had quite a snowy couple
yes,
over the last few years.
Terrified of going out in the ice. Absolutely terrified. I couldn't possibly. We had an invitation at Christmas to go along the road, only about 5 houses along, and I said, no, I really can't go. And my husband said, well, I'll hold on to you. And I said, no, you won't. Not at 82. If you fall over, I'll fall over. We'll both fall over, and there we'll be. So, no, I just didn't go out. That's right, yes. We just didn't go out. Well, I didn't go out.
Were you cautious as soon as you sort of found out about having osteoporosis, or has it sort of grown over time?
I suppose I have been a bit more careful, although I have broken more bones. I've broken my ribs in the swimming pool, pushing on the side of the pool to reach for something that had slipped away from me, a ball. We were doing some exercises in the water, and I broke 2 ribs then. What else have I done? I fell over. I went up a step in the garden of my neighbour and broke my wrist. So silly, really. I don't stop doing things. Sometimes I'm a bit more careless than I should be.
Have you been through much pain as a cause?
Quite a bit of pain, yes. I mean, I don't know that I've broken something, and the pain is so excruciating. I mean, with my ribs, I didn't know I'd broken them. But it was so agonising. I went to my doctor and she said, well, I think you better go and have it x-rayed. And they just saw a slight crack. And you can't do anything for ribs. You just sort of wait your time and wait for them to heal.
So you've broken three bones? Or?
Oh, I've broken more than that. When I was 8, I broke this bone, a green stick fracture, when I was an 8-year-old, standing on a stool in the living room trying to look into the mirror. Crazy thing to do, but there we are. I fell into the fireplace, not into the fire. And then when I was 18, I was at university and I fell out of the minibus and broke my wrist, that left wrist, on the curb. And I didn't think any more about it. And then not until I was 60 did I break my knee. And then I've broken more things since then, yeah. So if I should have thought, maybe a few years' time, people will know that if they fall and break something quickly and easily, they'd have a density scan and have more help.